Hey guys, it's me Chan again. So today's video about usually pull in 5.6. So this one between Escoffier, Navia, Kinich or Raiden Shogun. So like usual cover regarding positive, negative, the recommendation to pull to get early Constellation or the signature weapon. And also I will add a little bit Indian regarding the Chronicle Banner for Leo version, like which one that I recommend for the weapon, but only very brief for that. My main focus mostly for this four character. So let's get started. Let's start with the brand new character, which is Escoffier, and let's talk about couple of the good stuff, which is first, she is very good cryo buffer, especially in the freeze. She is just really good. Like even the enemy cannot be frozen, it doesn't even matter. She just like literally carry. Literally the threat is really good. Even in Ayaka fighting boss single target right now, it doesn't even matter. She just boost and amplified, especially like this main DPS by a lot. Like I think right now the one that's shining the most is Ayaka. Literally Ayaka going from like whatever into actually quite good character, and I'm truly impressed. The funny thing, I put even with my Chi-Chi, that my Chi-Chi is literally useless, she can still carry and clear Spiral Abyss. That's how good her buff actually in freeze team. And second is that her off-field damage is actually pretty good. Like it's kind of give me some impression like Shiori. Like if you just want to put her like just like off-fielder, even like it's not freeze, just like to get the damage, it's actually pretty good. And third is that she is also one of the candidate a good healer for Furina, just because like she can heal and also shred what else that it's bad from her. It's pairing with Furina actually really good, like both of these character. And last one, she actually saved Cryo. I already talked past of my video, I say like Cryo right now is kinda like forgotten something like that, but man, Escoffier come, she's make literally this Cryo really good. She's, I can just say, broken in her niche, which is like if you put like in the freeze, she actually broken as a character. She just make character that looks whatever and now become good. Regarding her downside, there's a couple of them that I just want to talk, not so much big deal, which is first is that I think most of her recommended team, or the one that we can say her best team in general, is involving premium team. Like mostly you want to pair like either with Citlali, Furina or Shenda. It's kind of like expensive. Yeah, although it still can work on some like budget team. You can pair with Kaya, you can pair with Shincho, something like that. But it's just like in general that she want to use is usually quite premium. But I can say it's not really a big issue anymore, since Mawiko also the same. Like she's really good broken right now, but yeah, her team is kinda like premium too, so I don't think it's super big issue, but I just want to address that. Second, she will have ER issue if you don't pay attention, especially lately. I think Natlan doesn't really suffer on ER, but I think Escoffier, one of the character that back on traditional, you really have to pay attention of your ER. In my build right now, she clearly not enough ER, so I think you need like 130, 40, something above to be like enough though. And the last one, which is her full potential of her kit, it's locked only in freeze, or at least you need to put like cryo and hydro, so it feels like if you want more flexible character, then she is not like typical the character that's flexible. She's really good in niche, like literally broken, but it's not really that flexible. As per my recommendation for you to pull for Escoffier, which is first, if you need a cryo buffer, like any type of reaction, doesn't even matter. Actually, she's still pretty much a good support, but especially in the freeze, then that's the best one, of course. So maybe if you want to buff like especially like Ayaka back, then yeah, she's literally a savior right now. And second, if you need a good healer for Furina, maybe you don't have any like good healer for Furina, then you can consider her. She is pretty good actually with Furina in terms of healing. And third, if you need just a flexible off-fielder, like same case like Shiori, then she can be another good candidate, because her off-field damage, even you just put like freeze or even like outside, it's still pretty much okay. I put with Navia and Geo, it still pretty much works though. So yeah, it's pretty much good if you just want to find like any like off-fielder that's flexible. And the last one, this is only assumption, but if you just want to follow the newest set of the artifact, that's most likely will be a brand new character, which is Kirk, because that's the only one that they haven't released, and that artifact is cryo. So assuming Kirk is cryo, then Escoffier most likely will be the best partner in here, because I already can see like Escoffier in matter whatever like of the state, she's just too good for any type of cryo. So I think Escoffier can be one of the good potential partner for Skirk. So maybe if you're aiming for Skirt, she can be one of the character that you can consider. As for Escoffier, should you pull for early Constellation or signature weapon, then I can say just very depends on what is your purpose and what you value more. If you value more about like buffing the whole team, like any type of team, then Escoffier signature weapon is better because it will give you attack buff for the whole team, doesn't have requirement. But if you just care to buffing specifically for a cryo character, then C1 is actually better than signature weapon because it gives you critical damage increased by 60%, and actually that's quite huge. And also to trigger this is just very easy. It's not like conditional or whatever, just do any skill or burst, it can trigger this. So it's actually just really good though. And C2 also quite the same. If you want to further buff your cryo, then this is also really good. As long like your character dealing cryo damage outside like Escoffier, it will get the damage increased by 240% of like Escoffier attack, which is actually, this is really good too though. So yeah, in general, if you want more flexibility to buff the whole team and also the weapon can be used by Yansan, something like that, then go for the signature. But if you just care like pure buffing your cryo character, then go for the Constellation. C1 and C2 is actually good. Second character is Navia. Navia in general is a strong Geo main DPS. I think the main signature of her is that she can just nuke in one shot. You can easily see like 100k to 200k from her like skill itself. So yeah, it's quite satisfying for some of you that really enjoy to see a big number in a screenshot. So similar type like Mawika or even Eula, something like that. Also, you can play Plunge Navia, which is actually my favorite. So technically she has two different playstyle, which is I think pretty good if a main DPS can have like different type of like playstyle. So in here also quite nice. You can just choose to play like the normal one or Plunge. As for downside or negative regarding Navia, there's nothing really major, but I want to mention a couple things, which is first is that on Navia, when you want to launch your skill, sometimes if you just tap, sometimes it will miss or it will target the wrong like enemy. So sometimes you kind of need to hold to make sure like you hit the right target so it not miss. So yeah, that's a little bit annoying. Sometimes like we just want to be fast, but you end up still need to hold. But yeah, it's only small matter. Also, I want to add is if you maybe mono Geo main, probably you will disappoint with Navia because Navia is not specialized for mono Geo because she kind of want two Geo and two is other non-Geo, which is it's hard for you to play in mono Geo. Yes, you can, but it's not the optimal for her. And last thing I want to add, this is not Navia's fault, but I just want to give you a remind again, in Genshin Impact, especially if you're a new player, you don't need so much DPS, probably around like 6 at the max, and then you're pretty much done. You want to focus more into support because or sub DPS because they are more versatile. They can be used in different teams. So because of that, in general, the value of main DPS is not really that high if you already get them like enough. Being like strong main DPS right now, it's not really always privileged because right now if we count all the Natlan DPS from Mulan even until Fereza, all of them is strong. So because of that, we have a lot of different alternative, making that Navia, if you already have enough DPS, just feel whatever. Like it's mostly you want to pull because you like the character, the gameplay, or you want to play in a certain element. But in the end, I still have my recommendation for you to pull for Navia, which is first, if you need a strong main DPS, then yes, Navia will be one of them. Second, if you maybe Geo main, you really dedicated into like any Geo type variation of like team, then Navia will be one of them that probably you will enjoy. And third, if you like to see a big number in a screenshot like 100k, 200k, you really like to see like noob number like that, then yes, I recommend to pull Navia because she's easily for you to reach that. Lastly, if you like character in gameplay, feel free to pull for her. For Navia, should we pull for early Constellation or signature weapon? Then my recommendation, if you only aim for C1, I recommend to get signature weapon first, just because the signature weapon will give you critical rate, increase attack, and increase elemental skill, which is pretty much very good to increase Navia overall damage. C1 is good, but it's mostly for quality of life, and I think it's not really that hard also for you to achieve. It just basically make your energy requirement getting lesser and kind of like make you almost have 0 ER that in your Navia, which is, they say it's quite convenient too, but ER is not like stat that's super rare for you to get, and it technically reduces the cooldown of the burst, but in the end of the day we want to follow the rotation, right? So it's not really like 100% super useful, but in the end it's still nice. But signature weapon still pretty much more impactful because straight up increase damage. However, if you aim for C2, then of course this is already better than weapon because it gives you increase of crit rate up to 36%, which is huge. You can almost ignore your critical rate and give a lot in critical damage. And also on your burst, you will get like additional fire cannon support in here. So technically you get more damage too. So if I want to rank, is C2 is the best value, signature weapon, then C1 is the last. Third character is Kinich. Kinich relatively also a strong main DPS. He is mostly work in any pyro related reaction, so because he is Dendro, of course, like burn, bargain, it also will works with him. He is also really good in terms of exploration, not just in that land, just because he can just like swing. This is actually really handy for you to kind of travel in general. Nothing to add much about Kinich, but I want to say in here that Kinich only probably one of the few characters that literally can make burning or bargain looks good, because in general burning and bargain not really looks great. Couple of them, let's say like air fryer, but it's mostly only good at AoE. But Kinich can make it like both of these reactions actually looks good, and quite rare also we have like team comp like revolving around bargain or burning. So maybe if you kind of want to experience like a good bargain and burning team, then Kinich will be one of your solution. Regarding Kinich downside or negative, nothing really huge, but I want to highlight in here regarding his aiming and targeting to the enemy sometimes can be annoying, because if you want to aim specific enemy and if you're not really getting used to it, can target the wrong enemy. And maybe if you want to target specific enemy, let's say like PMA, then sometimes he can shot in the wrong like target, and that's sometimes a little bit annoying. And the last one, this is actually same case like Navia. It's not Kinich fault, but being main DPS, of course, we have so much alternative, so his value is not really nothing like crazy. It's mostly if you maybe enjoy his gameplay, or maybe you have specific, let's say like team, let's say you have Emily, then yeah, that can be boost for like the recommendation for you to pull for like the Kinich, something like that. We have so much alternative of main DPS, and my recommendation for you to pull for Kinich, which is first, if you still need a strong main DPS, especially that specialize in burning and bargain, and if you enjoy to play with this reaction, then yeah, Kinich will be one of them. That I already told you like burning and bargain right now, it's quite rare to have a good team, and Kinich will be one of the solution to make these two reaction actually looks good. And next, if you have Emily, I really recommend for you to get Kinich, because Emily really working well with Kinich, and especially Emily also really amplified in terms of burning and bargain, so it's actually pretty good if you pair with Kinich. Furthermore, if you need a character that good exploration, not just Natlan but every single region, just want to swing here and there, I think it's pretty convenient for you to have Kinich. And lastly, of course, if you like the character and gameplay, feel free to pull for him. For Kinich, should you pull for early Constellation or signature weapon? And for me, if you aim for C1, I think both of signature and C1 is equally good. It just very depends on your preference. For the signature weapon, the best part in that is the weapon will give buff on all Kinich damage, while C1, it will buff specifically only for last hit cannon, the one that you unleash the biggest damage. Yes, it will increase another 100% of crit damage, which is actually really good too. But yeah, that's only in that one shot. But weapon is on everything. And another thing, that good thing from this C1 is that your speed can be increased by 30% after you basically the mid-air, so quite good also for exploration. So maybe if you consider more into exploration, then whole package this is can be better. But in the end, I think both of the weapon and C1 is equally good. However, if you want to aim C2, then C2 already better than signature weapon, because it just reduce the Dendro rest by 30%. That is actually really good, and also increase the AoE damage by 100% in here is actually good. In general, if you're planning to get more than C1 Kinich in the future, let's say you want to wait another run and pull another Kinich Constellation, then just focus to go with the Constellation route instead of the signature weapon. But in overall, if I want to rank, is C2 is better than C1, and C1 is around as good as signature weapon. Last character is Raiden Shogun. So Raiden Shogun in general is a good and flexible electro character. She is basically very multi-roles, like she can become main DPS, can become sub DPS, or even just electro player for some like electro reaction, and even she can provide like energy. Pretty good in general, like all-rounder in terms of electro character. And also she can work in the most of electro reaction, can work in overload, can work in electro charge, even like the let's say like Hyper Bloom, she can also work, which is actually really good if a character that have like multi roles and can be used in different type of the situation. So basically in the show like Raiden Shogun, the main upside is that she's very well covered and very flexible. You can put in a lot of different teams reaction and like can have different type of roles. The flexibility on her, that's the main upside of her. As for downside or negative of Raiden Shogun, I don't think she has any major downside, but the one I want to highlight in here regarding her value, I think her value right now it's kind of falling off. Like it's not feel like as special, like doesn't feel like super impactful like before, because right now we have a lot of different alternatives that can substitute Raiden Shogun. Literally for the main DPS at C0 alone, Pharesa and Chlorine already better than Raiden Shogun. And also if we want to talk about like sub DPS, we already have Auroron, the newest one. We have Cookie, also can good in like Hyper Bloom. Also Official Yai can be another substitute too. So because of that, right now getting Raiden doesn't feel like as special like back then 2 years ago, that still she feels very like all-rounder and also feel outstanding. But right now, yeah, she can cover everything but nothing feel outstanding anymore. But I still have my recommendation for you to pull Raiden Shogun, which is first, if you still need a flexible or multi-roles electro character where you can use as a main DPS, sub DPS, or even like to use in different type of electro reaction, then yes, Raiden Shogun can be still handy, although I would say like she's not the greatest anymore, especially in the main DPS, but yeah, she's still pretty much like kind of all-rounder, which is I find like it's still pretty good and convenient for you if you want like this type of character that can cover different stuff like flexible electro unit. Then yeah, Raiden can be one of the choice that you can pick. And the last part, this is mostly if you're Archon collector or if you enjoy her character and gameplay, because Raiden's still popular character, at least in my environment. She's still popular character, and if you still like her, yeah, feel free to pull for her. As for Raiden Shogun, should you pull for early Constellation or signature weapon? If you only aim for C1, I recommend to get the signature weapon, the Engulfing Lightning, because it gives you ER and also attack increase. So in general, it's good damage increase for Raiden. Because C1, it's good technically, you can get the resolve easier. Technically also increase your damage indirectly, but it's just so small. I have this comparison that I did. It's not really that crazy. It's only small. So the signature weapon is better. However, if you aim for C2, then yes, this is much better than signature weapon, because just ignoring 60% of opponent defense, this is actually really good. So if I want to rank in terms of value, C2 is the best in here. Afterwards is signature weapon, and the last will be the C1. Next, I want to talk in brief regarding the Chronicle Banner Inazuma version, and if I want to choose some of the pick in here, I will choose first absolutely Kazuha. I think people already anticipate, but Kazuha still remains as a very good character right now, very good support, can match with a lot of different teams. Like his threat is really good. He also can have crowd control, can pull enemy, especially like this Parallel Abyss 11, like have 60 enemy. Having crowd control I think will be helpful quite a lot. So yeah, he is in general very good, like universal buffer that I can say pretty still kind of useful for all type of player. Especially right now as Escoffier arrived, it makes even freeze more relevant, and Kazuha in general really good in freeze, so it makes his value even right now is really good too. Next pick is Kamisato Ayaka. So Ayaka right now getting a massive boost thanks to Escoffier. So he's right now become from just very whatever to actually a good DPS, and it makes like Froze like rise again, born again, to actually become a good reaction that you can play right now, because Escoffier, basically because Escoffier. So right now the value of Ayaka of course going up, so if you want to follow the hype train in here with the Escoffier release, then you can choose Ayaka. However, I want to give you a little bit remind that probably the next part will be Skirk, because that's the only character that haven't released, at least from the silhouette. I pretty much believe that will be Skirk. That's the only one that remain, and assuming if the last like artifact set that we haven't used, it's about cryo damage, so I think maybe Skirk will be cryo, and because of that probably there's a chance she will power creep Ayaka, so be a little bit be careful in that. Probably it's only like bait to make Ayaka good right now. After patch later she will getting like power creep, but who knows. And lastly, this is just honorary mention, is Chiori. Chiori low-key, although I don't think super valuable, but in general, she still work quite flexible. If you just need any like sub DPS, she can work, because she can just like literally just do as a outfielder like from the doll. And especially, she is relatively good in any geo like Kin,
even like in Mono Geo with Ito, even with Navia, even with only one role, it's still pretty much a good pair. So yeah, in general, if you maybe just need a flexible like sub DPS to just give more damage like off field, then Shiori can be one of the choice in here. As for the Chronicle Banner for the weapon, in general for me all these weapons actually really good and relatively universal. Only the exception is Kokomi's signature, the Everlasting Moon Glow. But other than that, whatever you get, it's actually really good though. Especially if I want to highlight like Mid Splitter as a sword for the main DPS, usually they are relatively decent to good for most of the DPS like sword. Red Horde too, Kagura Verity, also the Thundering Pulse, also really good in general for any main DPS bow. So yeah, most of these weapons actually are just really good though. So as long you don't lose Everlasting Moon Glow, I think you still win. As for Shuriupul for early Constellation or the signature weapon, in general for most of the character in the Chronicle Banner, I think their signature weapon will give their more impact compared to their C1. So that's pretty much that's it. If you ask my verdict, who should you pull in 5.6, then I will choose Escoffier, just because Escoffier just make Cryo looks actually great. Again, it makes especially Frozen can be at least doing something before they feel already so dead. Right now like Ayak can feel alive again. So basically Escoffier just saved Cryo right now even more, and that actually really I can say something like revolutionary. I know it's kinda only niche in Cryo, but the buff is actually really good. It's actually really impactful. And considering also if Skirk turn out to be like Cryo, I believe Escoffier will be a good partner with Skirk in here. So yeah, because of that, I lean towards to Escoffier. However, if you want more, of course, to be more universal, then I already told you, just pull on the Chronicle Banner and choose Kazuha. So yeah, that's pretty much that's it. If you like this video, feel free to hit subscribe button and like, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.